Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to the CUPodcast, the first of the year.
Happy New Year!
The last year of the teens, 2019, January 1st. I think it's the first time we're doing a New Year's podcast. I believe so. That's Ian Ferguson.
We're ready for the roaring 20s.
I'm Pat Concha. We are getting ready for the roaring 20s.
Yeah.
Something tells me they won't be as festive as they were 100 years ago.
We can only hope.
We're rocking in the new year with you all here. We'll be talking about, what are we talking about? Why don't you run down some of the topics?
Oh, we're talking about the SimCity NES ROM being released. We're talking about Soldier Boy having those consoles taken away. We're talking about the Dreamcade replay being a horrible hunk of shit. And
Bandersnatch.
A little bit more. Yeah, Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch. Yeah, so my New Year's Eve last year wasn't the best. I never got into it. I won't get into that. This is a better New Year's because I didn't feel some crushing sort of depression. Some really weird personal thing happened last year right before New Year's. It didn't happen this year, so that's good.
That's good.
So positive all around. Ian, how did you spend New Year's?
Yeah, Vonnie and I hung out and I made chicken wings.
Chicken? Oh, okay. Now I'm hungry. Intermittent
that.
fasting. Damn it. So I did have a horrible experience, though, with the post office. So if you listen to the NotSoCom podcast, you're an avid listener, Ian.
Yes.
You have a t-shirt.
Every single one. Do you have a t-shirt for that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I should. I should just have the list of all the YouTubers that backstab me that appeared on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
So I fucked up my phone. First curse of the new year. Sorry. I messed up my phone. That should be a New Year's resolution. I screwed up my phone. Water damage. I didn't back up anything, so I gotta get a forensics guy to look into it. So I ordered. It's the iPhone 6s, which is a fine phone. It's still fine. They sell them new still for like $450 for 128 gigs. I upgraded from the 64. I could have stick with the 64, but there was one on eBay for like $240, like used. But they're fine if they're used. You can even swap out the battery yourself if the battery drains after a while. It doesn't hold the charge as much. So I ordered it literally on Christmas Day, and so I wanted to get it by Saturday so I went online and I saw that it was delivered to a post office, but it was too late. So then Monday comes around, and like my phone is my life, business, personal contacts, business, and everyone was texting me wondering what the hell happened to the package. I'm usually pretty quick at responding to texts. So I get the message that via the tracking that it was at one of the local post offices, the Midway post office. It was in the morning. I wanted to catch it before it went out for delivery because the mail isn't delivered here till late afternoon. So I figured,
okay,
I'm going to the gym in the morning at like 9 a.m. I can pick it up. I got the tracking number with me. Let's do this. Let's set out to the good old Midway post office. And boy, if that wasn't the most miserable experience I had to end a shitty 2018. I walk in, I stand in line with my tracking number. I walk to there's two desks set up. Everyone at the post office, this is an Asian thing. The youngest person in the post office is like 55 years old when you walk in. Most of them, usually they're older people. So I walk into this woman who looks like she wants to murder me before I say anything to begin with. She's just like, she has a thick Eastern European accent. I say, hey, I know the package at the post office. Here's a tracking number. I'd like to be able to see if it's here. I can pick it up, And she said, oh, I can't do that here. You got to, if your pickup is at the door next to me. I'm like, okay. Customer service wasn't the best, but she wasn't overtly rude. I slide 10 feet to the side where a guy just does pickup of items. Mm-hmm. It's a gentleman in his 50s. And I say, hey, here's my tracking number. I'd like to see if it's here. If I can pick it up early. And he goes, oh, I don't have a computer here. I can't do that. And I'm like, okay. All right. So
which post office is this?
Midway.
Okay.
Midway, Point Loma.
The Ocean Beach one never even gives me that much trouble.
Oh, I've had trouble there too. I won't get into it. So I'm like, okay. All right. I don't know what you have here, sir. I go back into line again. Thankfully, it's only 2 people deep at this point. The woman, we'll just call her Olga at this point, about 60, bleach blonde hair, miserable woman. She sees me in line again. She gives me this eye like, "Oh, you fucker, you son of a bitch," and I'm like, "Oh my god." And there's two people, so I have the choice. So I'm like, "Oh my god, please let me get the hopefully nicer woman. She can't be meaner."
Right.
But no, I don't. So I walk over, and she's like, giving me the stink eye the whole time. And I'm like, "Okay, the gentleman said I should come back here in order to get the tracking number." She says, "I told you, I can't do it. This is a cash, like, this is cash only. I don't." I'm like processing in my head. First of all, who does cash only in 2018 still, but 2019. But in my head, I'm like, they don't have a computer to ring things up and to calculate out costs and to track things. Like, you have a computer. They're not weighing stuff on a gram scale like you're
Right.
you're weighing out drugs in the 70s. So she gets testy with me like it's my fault for not knowing this with her after the guy sent me back over. So she says, "Well, you got to go over there to that." I'm like, where am I going? It's like, "You got to go over there to the cash register," but she's not there yet. So then she gets annoyed that she has to go get a third employee. She has to get a third employee to come help out this sorry sack of shit who just wants to see if his package is there at the post office. So I'm still staying calm at this point. I'm like, okay, I've had the best experiences. So I go walk to the end, and so she walks away. We'll just call her Olga. And she approaches this Asian woman, probably in like her mid 50s again. The average age of us here like 58. And she goes, "How about this person over here?" She's like, "Well, I got things to do." And this third person, I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't need this." By the way, Ian, it's 9:30 in the morning. She walks over, and before I say a word, and I swear to God, before I say the word, "Sir, you're gonna have to wait." And I'm like, I'm looking at myself like, I've already been waiting like almost 10 minutes here, getting bounced around. So finally she says to me, what set me off finally? She said something to the fact that oh, I have to turn on the system here. And I'm just like, finally, this is where like Pat's civility went away. I said, "I don't know why you're yelling at me. I haven't done anything." And I just said, "You know what? I don't need this. I'm leaving." She said, "Well, bye, sir," like that. And I'm just like, and then I finally stopped and made a slight scene. I figured this was my moment to do this. Like my father used to, like 30 years ago. I looked around and I said, "I didn't do anything. I feel like a crazy person." I said, "I'm getting yelled at. I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing at the post office." I made sure, and then everyone else behind me looks at me. There's like 8 people. But they're like thinking, okay, it's like the soup Nazi thing. So you know the guy's an asshole, but you want your soup still. So they don't want to agree with you. "Oh, that's terrible," because they got to deal with these asshole government employees after me. So it was like the perfect way to end to me, not a shitty in its entirety, but overall bad 2018 in terms of experiences.
All right.
So to all the miserable people at the Midway Point Loma post office, Happy New Year to you. Because all I wanted to see was check to see if my fucking package was at the post office. And I had 3 employees be rude to me in the span of about 3 minutes. 3 different employees. The 4th person, I want to see if I can get all 4 of them. I should have talked to the 4th one to see if she was going to be rude as well. So that was I just like shook my head like, I can't believe this. So
That's some stuff, man.
that's some stuff.
That is some stuff.
That's some stuff. So any New Year's resolutions, Ian?
No, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions.
Have you ever had one before?
I don't know. Maybe.
So here's what we've been banding about with the podcast. We've considered that we're making this public discourse. You guys are all in auditorium chairs watching this. Mm-hmm. That's what's happening right now. We're considering going weekly with the podcast. It'd be a shorter podcast of like maybe 6 to 8 topics, like an hour 15 podcast. We've thought about it before. The reason we couldn't do it before because there was a lot of editing work on my part. But now that we have Kieran, who's an awesome editor, Harry Atomic, it's a possibility of us to do that. Some weeks would be lighter. Some weeks probably Ian wouldn't be available. I do it myself, or we skip a week here and there potentially if neither of us can do it. Or hey, maybe Ian can do one without me or with a guest. That'd be fun. We could try it. I'm not saying how it would turn out. We could try it, but that's what we thought. And then when I also had a thought with Ian that maybe we could, like, after we record, go live on Twitch for like 15-20 minutes and like just shoot the shit with people, just to say hi or whatever else.
It would be nice to get the topics out quicker.
That too. So because that's always been the strike against. It's like, oh, your topics are a week late or 2 weeks late. And when it comes to the YouTube atmosphere, if you're listening to the podcast, you don't care for the most part. But even with that, podcast comes out every 2 weeks. So we're gonna try to do it. We'll get more clickbaity with our subject matter too in the titles. We'll do that as well. So that's what's happening there. I got a present from Thomas, right? Mm-hmm. What's his Twitter handle? It's a weird one.
I think it's just his name.
Thomas Aronis?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh.
I knew it.
It's a Funko home. I didn't know Funko did this. It's a Bloodsport shirt. And it's limited edition. Wow. Thank you so much. And it's in a VHS package. So the picture is Van Damme doing his iconic jump kick that you saw in the poster when he kicks Chong-Li in his face, his cheating face. But Ian, you're not off the hook yet. But thank you, Thomas. You're not off the hook on that other shirt.
Tom suggested I try stealing it.
He tried stealing it. Did you get one as well?
I got a RoboCop shirt. Same sort of deal.
Okay, well, this is great. I didn't know Funko did this. This is a great idea. We should do this CU podcast in a VHS, double VHS here. I will wear this, Thomas. Thank you so much for that. Other than my awful post office experience, I did see Aquaman.
Nice.
It was a thing. It wasn't bad.
Sure.
It was just overstuffed. And I fell asleep almost. I nodded off about 3/4 through it. I did. When the Julie Andrews fish monster was talking to Aquaman before he gets to try it.
Is it like 2.5 hours?
It's like 2:20.
Okay.
Something like that without looking. They could have trimmed like 10 minutes easily. There's a lot of like political intrigue and Dolph Lundgren is great. And things like that. It's just there's a lot of fat there. The fight scenes go on for too long. Where it's like, okay, enough.
Gotcha.
Like the one-on-one Trident fights, enough spinning. Like we get it. Like shorter brevity sometimes is better when it comes to this. But it's not bad. I think it's like 64% on Rotten Tomatoes. So it's still fresh. Average rating's like 6. I give it like a 6 out of 10. Right. Jason Momoa. Well, it's funny when Jason Momoa first shows up. He takes off short. You can hear the woman like down there. She's like, oh. I was just like, yes, we get it. This is superhero porn for some people. We get that. Yeah, I gotta see Bumblebee. I just gotta see Bumblebee. But anyway, we're gonna get started with the CU podcast. Thanks to everyone for supporting us in 2018. It was rough going there for a bit, but things will be dealt with eventually. And we'll get back on track, and we'll see.